Today there's an invisible stain. Oh no, oh no, oh no, where'd it go? Oh no, the stain appeared without a trace, and that'll never come out. I know a couple of conjoined twins, but I'm starting to think that they might be the same person, because I've never even seen them in the same room together. Who the hell do they think they're fooling? I'm on to you. I can eat whatever I want. The calories don't count as long as I wear a disguise. Everybody has a birthday coming up. As long as they do not die, the revolution will be televised. In fact, you probably missed it 'cause it wasn't really advertised. I am a pessimistic narcissist. I always feel empty, but I'm full of myself half the time. I know, I don't know, oh no, I don't. I am perfect, but not every time. Oh, I thought the song was done. I am perfect, but not every.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Living Room Show. Here I am. That is correct. Thank you, everyone, for being here. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. Apologize if we didn't start exactly at our usual 8:05-ish time. Comedy Hub didn't have the countdown time in their screen. I feel that's what's been keeping us honest. And I actually glanced over. I didn't realize it wasn't there. But yeah, we are excited to have you all here. Luckily, not too much crazy has happened this week, so this should be just a regular show. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. This is a stand-up comedy show on Zoom. Let's enjoy it now while it's still legal. We suggest a couple of ways to keep this show feeling like it is a true stand-up comedy show is if you are somewhere with not too much background noise, if you can make it so you can join us in laughing and having a great time this evening, go ahead and unmute yourselves. We want to hear your awesome, amazing laugh. We really appreciate it. The Carbo household is unmuted. Carrie just gave us an example of the laughter. We got Brian is unmuted. Michael's unmuted. Brandon is unmuted. Whoa, we got a lot of people unmuted right now. This is going to be a lot of fun. One or two of our comics are unmuted, and that's great. Although comics almost never laugh at anything. At least not me. I'm a terrible audience member when you have me.
Put me up front during your taping.
Yeah, and then that's why Carrie was up front in the very front row at my comedy special filming, so we could get her in her head about how she was laughing. So if you are not Carrie and want to be unmuted, go ahead and be unmuted so we can hear your awesome, amazing laughter. But if you do currently have 4 or 5 small dogs running around your ankles and nipping at your ankles and making loud noises, at least turn your cameras on. Let us see your beautiful smiling faces. Once again, Brian, you're crushing it. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you for being here. Or Michael, who's unmuted with his camera on but is not visible. I love it. Next announcement. There's Michael. We suggest watching the show in speaker view. Go ahead and hit that button in the upper right corner. This way you make us nice and big, filling up your entire screen. If you don't know how to turn it into speaker view, text your grandson, who will let you know how to do it, and we'll explain to you how to fix it. The next announcement is this is a free stand-up comedy show. But if you want to show the comics some love, if you want to make it so we can keep paying these comics week after week and paying our bills, you can send us some tips. You can do that by finding us on Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle using the email livingroomcomedy@gmail.com. We're on Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. Or you can just go ahead and click those links that Carrie put over in the chat, which is either on this side or this side, depending upon where you have your second monitor that you got during the pandemic set up. setup. That's for me, it's on this side. Although my monitor is mirrored. My screen is mirrored. I don't know where anything is anymore. Other than that, shout out to everybody watching us on Comedy Hub on Twitch. Give them a round of applause. We appreciate that. Thank you, Jared, for being here and for streaming us out to Twitch. And shout out to everyone who's we're live streaming on YouTube, I believe, as well. It's pretty wild, guys. We are in a lot of places, all right? There are more people at this show than at almost any regular random show in New York City right now. So it's actually true. And for some reason, comics are hesitant when we ask them to do this show, except for the comics who are here right now. They're amazing. We're going to have a fantastic time tonight. I am so excited to bring up the host of this show. She is the co-producer of this show. We share a virtual background, so it feels like we are sharing the same stage. Let's give it up. Let's get excited right now for your MC, the one, the only, Carrie Gravenson, everybody!
Thank you, Aaron. Aaron, it never ceases to delight me that our backgrounds matching is a credit for you.
I love it.
That's just amazing. How's everybody feeling? It's Friday night. Yay. And it's a holiday weekend. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Do we have anyone visiting us for the very first time? Do we have first timers here? Let us know. You can use the emoji thingies, or you can. Okay, good. We don't like new folks around here. We don't take too kindly to strangers. Did I tell you that really happened to me once? Somebody actually said those words to me, and I was in a hotel. Yikes. I was in a hotel hot tub. This really happened. I was in a hotel hot tub in Beaumont, Texas. And somebody with a 10-gallon hat got in. I was alone. A man came into the hot tub and joined me alone. And he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "New York City." And he said, I swear, he said, "We don't take kindly to new folks around these parts." And I was like, am I on hidden camera? Someone just literally, I looked around and then I said, "Do you know what a hotel is?" A hotel caters almost entirely to strangers. Like, the entire business model is that strangers check in and out of this hotel. But yeah, somebody literally said that to me. Well, I had an interesting week. Something really crazy happened to me this week. My TV broke.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So yeah, my TV broke and I was livid because I don't want to spend time thinking. I like to have a glowing rectangle. I need a glowing rectangle to prevent my independent thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was complaining about it. And then I realized this is a brand new TV. Is it under warranty? And it is.
Oh,
nice.
All the good people. Yeah, but I didn't know that mattered. I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Here's what it means. It means I call up Samsung, which is 1-800-SAMSUNG, easy to remember. And I'm like, yo, my TV broke. And they're like, did you unplug it and plug it back in? And I was like, yes. And they were like, are you sure you unplugged the TV and plugged the TV back in? Yes. Okay, did you unplug it and wait 3 minutes and plug it back in? Yes. Did you unplug it and plug it directly into the outlet and not into a power strip? Yes. Did you unplug it and unplug all the other devices connected to the TV and then plug it back in? Yes, I did that. Did you unplug it and then boil an egg and then plug it back in and eat the egg? Yes, I did that. Did you unplug it and then send a thank you note to your aunt and then send that thank you note and then plug it back in? Yes. Did you unplug it and then reconcile the idea that being born human means that we will never get to know why and then plug it back in? No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. So finally they were like, oh, it sounds broken for real. And I'm like, wow, that took like an hour of like me trying stuff. And they were like, it is under warranty, so we're going to send a repair person. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, we're going to send a service person to your house a live person is going to come over, breathe your airspace, and fix your television. And I was like, are you sure that's not cheaper than just sending me like a return coupon and like I'll send it back and just get a new one? Like this is so, and I didn't know TV repair people still existed. Like I honestly, I did not know a live person come. I thought that only happened in pornography. Like a live person came to my door. I shaved my legs. I didn't know what to do. How this was gonna go? How is this gonna go? And then when he was done, he fixed it in like a second. By the way, he like waved his hand over it, and it was fixed. Just kidding. It was the screen. He replaced the entire screen. But it took. I timed it because I was curious. It took 9 minutes. When he was done, I was like, I don't have any money to pay you. And he was like, yeah, it's a warranty thing. Samsung pays me. Bye. And I was like, that was so weird. Oh my God, you guys. So now I have a working TV. And once I got it working, I was so happy that I became one of those people who was afraid to turn it off. I was like, I'll just keep it on. That's fine. It'll just glow. It'll just be the Roku background screensaver with the fish. I just have the Roku fish. That's all you need. So yeah, that was the excitement I had this week. Anyone else have any exciting news that happened this week?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we had a rough Wednesday, but I think it's gonna be okay. I had Simpsons trivia on Tuesday night. I went to 90s Simpsons trivia, and you know what happened was we watched an episode that didn't technically take place in the 90s, and I think that just jinxed the whole thing. I think we're in a different timeline now because they broke the rules. Because when Lisa Simpson is president, that show technically aired in 2000. So, I know you're all eager to know how I'm doing at the gym. I have a 5K in less than 3 weeks, fewer than 3 weeks, and I'm working out muscles that I didn't know I had. For example, I didn't know that I have muscles in my armpit. But this hurts right here. And I don't know what good making this muscle super strong is going to do, but I'm holding on to backpacks. Like nobody's business. Just clamp down on them backpacks. It's a good muscle for that. So that's where we are at the gym. We're floundering in there, you guys. It's bad. But I am so excited for tonight's show. You guys are in for a treat. Give the comics some love when they are on stage, and you can use these little reaction guys. And if you have an updated version of Zoom, you can do the little floaty laughing faces. Oh, wow. Which probably delights only me, but you will delight me. How about that? That should be enough. That should be enough for you guys. So are you guys ready to get the show on the road?
Yeah.
I'm super excited for our first comedian coming to the stage. She's been here before. You're going to love her. Give it up for Leanne Lord, everybody.
Leanne Lord.
Leanne Lord. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I haven't done a virtual show in a while, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to stay home. I don't want to go out there. Earth is not a safe space. It's not. But I'm coming to you from New York City.
Yay.
And, thank you. Yay. I will take that because New York City has actually really been going through it, right? Like it feels like everybody's been resigning from the New York City mayor's office. Yeah, right? Except the mayor. I mean, full disclosure, I went on ahead and resigned as well. I never worked there, but yeah, you know what they say, better safe than subpoenaed. It's actually really bad. I was reading The Gothamist today. Apparently the janitor also resigned. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not cleaning this up. I'm not." But this all matters to me because I'm a native New Yorker. But I'm second. Thank you. I'm second generation American. My grandparents came here from the Caribbean, to make a better life, so that one day I could go back there on vacation.
Great.
Girl. But I've actually performed in all 50 states, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm starting to really wonder if we really need all 50.
Touche.
Right? Like I think we might be good if we got back down to our colonial weight. Right? I mean, you know how good it feels when you lose that last 37 pounds, right? I remember the first time I did a show in Alaska. That's when I realized that we don't teach geography. Right? We don't. Somebody said, "Leanne, you're going to Alaska? What's the exchange rate?" I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's 1-to-1. Right? $1, 1 caribou. I did a show in one of my favorite shows. I did a show in Minnesota in the winter. Yeah, exactly. Listen, you guys, Minneapolis is so cold that their bus stops have enclosed bus shelters with benches and heaters.
Heaters.
Wow. Yes. Now y'all know in New York City we would turn that into a studio apartment. And then sublet it. But I feel like it's weird now. I feel like no matter where you go, though, now I'm just gonna say it. It's not a good time for brown people, y'all. Like even UPS is nervous. I still think about because I'm a New Yorker. I still think about the New York City, the Central Park bird watching incident, right? Because that actually brought up a lot of questions. Right? White people were like, "So Black people go bird watching?" And we were like, "Of course we go bird watching." And then amongst ourselves, we were like, "When did we start bird watching?" Because look, I am really happy that brother got an Emmy award-winning HBO Max show out of it. But I'll be honest, y'all, the closest that I've ever come to bird watching is reading the menu at KFC. I'm just being honest, right? Carrie, I'm so glad that your TV was the thing for you this week.
It's all I have bandwidth.
No, I would take that over everything else that happened. Because listen, I think for everybody, life is a lot right now. Like I feel overwhelmed and underwhelmed at the same time. Right? Like I would just love to be whelmed.
This middle.
Like when I turn on my TV, which is not under warranty, so I had to stop throwing things at it every time I watch the news. Yeah, no, I only turn on TV now for 3 things. I just want traffic, weather, and ads for class action lawsuits. Because I'm like, come on, ibuprofen. Because I really do think that I might be entitled to compensation. It's just it is just so much. Like it's so bad for me. I had to make a rule for myself to protect my mental health. So my rule now is I can only be mad at 3 things at one time. Yes. So right now it's racism, sexism, and people who pronounce both T's in the word important. Right?
Important.
I hear that second T and it's like slowly I turn. Because nothing is that important. Yeah, y'all, it's bad. It's bad. Like I've been so stressed. I needed my own serenity prayer. Right? Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, may I have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the disposable income to change the things I can,
Yes.
and the legal representation to know the difference. 'Cause this chick is about to go to jail. But I am in therapy. But yeah, here's the thing. My therapist is a Black woman, so we're basically going through the same things right now. Right? I'm like, yo, this is messed up. She's like, sure is. And I'm like, sis, I was expecting a little more. She's like, me too. Right, because I am trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to take care of my mentals because, the number one killer in the United States right now is stress. Right? Number two killer is a dude on my block named Juan. Well, listen, I gotta go because I have a cat and it is feeding time. Right, exactly. This dude got me on a schedule, and I ain't got no food in my refrigerator, but he has food. But if y'all have enjoyed me tonight, it was a pleasure to be back. I'm Leah Lord. If you have not enjoyed me, my name is Jada Pinkett Smith.
Give it up for Leanne/Jada.
Hey.
I would like to see the cat, please. If you can grab, I like seeing the kitties.
Okay, first of all, there's just no grabbing him. He is 20 pounds.
Oh, I
gotta brace myself. And he has a better agent than I do. He was like, yeah, my agent didn't sign a deal for this. So.
You got a union. You got a union.
I have a union cat. He is more bougie than I am.
All right. Well,
okay. He's got all kind of standards.
Yep.
Listen, he made me sign an NDA, so I don't even know.
Wow.
What to tell you?
Sign it? I wouldn't sign it. I'd be like, do you want food or do you want an NDA? Oh, do you not have opposable thumbs?
Okay, that's big talk for somebody that don't have to go to sleep in a house with a 20-pound cat, ma'am. You real brave from a distance. This dude will swear up, okay? Because I didn't have him from a kitten. I got him from the shelter, so he's seen some things.
He's grown. Yeah, he accepted you.
Exactly.
Give it up for Leanne, everybody. And I had people asking the exchange rate when you go to Alaska. I went to college in New Mexico, and you would be amazed at the number of people who asked me what the currency there was. And I was like, yeah, we should definitely defund the Board of Education. That's where we need to go with that. But I went to a college that went out of business after I graduated. It was accredited the year I graduated, but it went out of business about 8 years later, which means that I have 3 PhDs. And you can call the college and ask them, oh, you can't. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. That is, yes. And my 3 PhDs are in science, philosophy, and sexiness. So that's what they were giving it. And I wonder why they went out of business. Yeah, they didn't. This was great. They ran out of money, and it was one of the only colleges that I've ever heard of that did not have any math requirement at all. The college with no math requirement went out of business because they ran out of money. So I don't know. You get one person who works there who knows how to do the books would have helped, I think, but no math requirement. But we had plenty of philosophy requirements. All right, and you know what that means. Are you guys ready for your next comedian?
Yeah.
She's coming to us from the West Coast. Give it up for Leah Bonema, everybody. Leah Bonema.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. I also have a TV story. I used to live right down the street from Carrie in Queens, New York. And in that apartment, we had a television that gave out on us out of warranty. And we were not in a state where we could buy a second TV. We were like, we don't, I was going to the library to rent DVDs. That's where we're not getting a second TV. We figured out, I don't know all the things we tried first. We figured out that if we put a heating pad on top of our television, it would work, which the amount of things we tried on it first, you know what I mean? And most electronics want to be colder. Our TV was like, I'd like to be cozy. If you could plug in a heating pad, I have menstrual cramps. Kept it going for another 2 years. So November 5th was a huge day. I think for most of us, it was my birthday. So, thank you. What a day for a birthday. Was anything else going on that day? No, I don't think so. And I went up to Big Bear, which if you're not from the West Coast, it's like the mountains here. And I was like, I'm originally from Maine. So like I grew up in the mountains. I'm very familiar with going into the woods. I know all the rules. I would never go into the woods without water. I would never go into the woods without knowing the trailhead. I would never go into the woods without leaving a note. What did I do? I did all of those things. And I'm out in the forest with my significant other and our 2 dogs. And I realized, whoops, we're off the trail. We're lost. No water, no map, gonna eat the dogs. I don't know. I love them very much, but they don't need 4 legs. You know what I mean? And it's amazing how less you panic about the political structure of America when you're like, I am about to eat my significant other in the woods. But what ended up happening was I have like really annoying hearing. Like I can hear somebody from 3 buildings over scratching a fork on their plate. And so I've had to set up like wind tunnels in our whole house. I could hear children playing from far away. And I knew it because it made my IUD buzz. And so I was like, that's kids. And I just followed the sound to children. And I walked through the woods until there was a school on the side of a highway. And then when we got to the highway, our phone worked. And then we walked along the highway like a bunch of vagabonds with our dogs in sweaters back to the cabin. So there was an exciting week. Made it back. I also want to do a shout out to cannibalism. I don't think it's that bad. You know, when you think about it, I feel like it gets a really bad rap. I was at Museum of Natural History in New York, which is my favorite museum. And they had a exhibit on cannibalism. And the title was Cannibalism, Worst Thing a Human Can Do to Another Human. I thought not even close. You know what I mean? Not in my top 10. I literally yesterday or on November 5th said to my significant other, I will eat you. You know what I mean? I can't go down like this. But the worst thing a human can do to another human, have you ever been working out, right? You're at the gym. Maybe you're lifting a new weight. Maybe you're working so hard and a stranger comes up to you and says, keep going. You'll get there.
Oh. No.
That's the worst thing a human can do to another human. I would rather you ate me alive. Do you know what I mean? Please stop saying that to people at the gym. I volunteer at a dog shelter. For those of you know, I'm obsessed with my dogs. I would never eat one of them, but I love them so much. I actually had a friend recently told me that I'm too much with my dogs. She said I had to stop letting my one dog kiss me on the mouth. Which I thought was a funny thing to say. I was like, do you think I'm letting her kiss me? Or am I waking her up in the middle of the night and putting my face onto her face, and I breathe in her breath, and then I breathe our breath back into her.
Oh.
And then I just whisper, I love you so much. I love you. 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 You can never get sick. I'd kill myself. No pressure. I love you. 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 She's the best. I actually, she was a street dog. We got her. She was a street dog. They found her in an alley. She was selling knockoff purses. She's a hard worker. She looks like a deer. And then we just got a second dog. You know, we got her a dog. She's my dog, and then she got a dog.
Right.
Our second dog's name's Greta May. She looks like a spider monkey. They both look. So anytime I take them out for a walk, strangers will come up to me and say, have you got their DNA test? Have you gotten a DNA test? And I have not DNA tested my dogs. I don't know if you guys have done that. I haven't DNA tested myself. Nobody in my family has. My mom sent out an email saying, we as a family will not do this. I think it's suspicious. Her words. And I sort of agree with her because I send in Lacey Jane's saliva, and then all of a sudden her DNA shows up on a 5-family murder in Dayton. You're like, she's never even been to Ohio, you know? And then all of a sudden she's doing 25 to life, and you're like, but she can't sleep without her Star Wars blanket, you know? And then you have to explain to the people in jail, when you go to feed her, you got to put it down, then pick it back up, then stir it, then pretend to put it in the oven, then take it back out, then fake eat it, then put it back down. Then she'll eat it. I love dogs so much. I actually volunteered at a dog shelter. And I have a tote bag. It's right here, a tote bag with a picture of the dog head on it and the name of the shelter. And I was walking home. I live right outside on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard. I was walking home. This lady walks right up to me, already angry, walks right up to me and goes, what about cats? You can't save cats. You don't like cats? And I just feel like social media has ruined how we converse with people. You know, like I feel like she was treating me like I'm an Instagram post. You know, when you like post a picture of a beautiful sunrise and a stranger comes in there and they're like, what about sunsets? You hate sunsets? You sunset hating jerk. And I just got, they're unrelated. You know, how you feel about one thing is not. So I just got so mad. I turned around and I was like, lady, this bag is made out of cats. And I said to her, I go, they're not related. Like, I like my mom. I like water mammals. How big does this bag have to be? You know, I got to have everything on it. And she was like, your silence on guinea pigs is deafening. Thank you so much. I'm Leah Bonema. Thank you for having me.
Give it up for Leah.
Oh, yeah.
I might have laughed too hard at the IUD joke. I just loved it so very much.
It's a true story. I got totally lost and I followed the sounds of children.
Yeah, that can go either way. You might end up with children.
Or you might end up with a cave with a lady who's like taking children in with gingerbread. You know what I mean?
And she's like, come in, sweet child. And you're like, I'm an adult, I'm good, I'm over 18, I'm 25, I got adult here.
Although I'd go in for cookies. That's how easy I'd be. I'd be like, are you giving cookies? I'll risk my life.
I'd eat the house. I mean, she's old, you know? Here's my thing at the gym, because I'm a gym noob and I don't know all of the gym things that gym people seem to know. But if somebody addresses me at the gym, this is what happened. I set the machine to do some sort of maneuver with the weights and the pulling and the pushing and the lifting. And a guy came up to me and he just went, how many left?
No.
And I froze because I don't know what that means. Does he mean minutes? Does he mean sets? Does he mean years until I die? What did he mean? He just went, how many left? And so I just got up and went home. I left the gym entirely. I was like, that's enough gym for today. I was like, have the machine. I don't know how many left means. I assume sets, but I don't know how many things are in a set. What if I said I have 2 sets left, but each set is 100? I don't have to qualify too many things. So I could have just said, like, give me 5 minutes, bro. But I didn't. Instead, I said, you may have the machine, and I went home. I'll try again tomorrow. That's how we do it. All right. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? Doing good. We are so happy to see him. You guys give a big round of applause for Joe Pontillo, everyone.
Yo!
Yeah. How's everybody doing? That sounded so very convincing. Thank you. I need all right, let's move forward. So October. Well, first of all, I'm Italian, and Columbus Day is sort of controversial now, and I agree. Like, maybe we shouldn't celebrate Columbus anymore. This year, they declared October, the entire month, Italian American Heritage Month.
Ooh.
Yeah, 31 days of the loudest conversations you've ever heard in your life. And just people walking up to you in the street going, take this food, please, eat it. You haven't eaten it since I'm watching you. That's what I'm talking about. We are such bullies. But so I live in New York City. Leanne mentioned, we're having some political problems here. The mayor, Eric Adams, is, being indicted because he was taking money from the country of Turkey. That's what you do when you're the mayor of New York City. How did that even happen? Like, they just call him up and they're like, hey, anybody who's anybody takes money from Turkey. It's just like, well, guess what then? New York is the Istanbul of America.
Yeah.
So he's going to jail. No, probably not, but he should. And he's really been such a bad mayor, and like a comically bad mayor. Like, so like the last guy who was mayor, Bill de Blasio, was horrific. And Eric Adams was like, hold my beer. So this is just so insane. I don't know if you remember, Bill de Blasio actually killed a groundhog once.
True.
New York, for some reason, decided to do Groundhog Day on Staten Island, of all places. And Bill de Blasio, the mayor, had to go to Staten Island to, talk to the groundhog, and it bit him. And it of his hand, and he was like, freaking thing, and spiked it on he died 3 days later. And really, that should be the end of your political career. Why, right? You kill a groundhog, you have to just
You're out of here.
That's it.
The weather is.
should have been allowed to run for president. I don't know if you heard this other story recently. Up in upstate New York, there was some online influencer that had a pet squirrel on his house, and the feds showed up, raided the house, took the squirrel, and killed it. Yeah. And who led that raid? Bill de Blasio. Like, Bill, we got one more job for you. Anyway, too soon, I guess. Whatever. So, I've been doing some fun shows recently. I performed, I did a show at a college, it was actually last year, where I opened for a legally blind motivational speaker, which was a very funny pairing to have, a sarcastic comedian open for a motivational speaker. So I had to drive them to the show, and while we were driving, they kept pointing out things that they were seeing. I was like, "Are you lying to people?" But legally blind means they can still kind of see. And I was like, "That's fine." So that happened, and then I did a medical school, which was a lot of fun. And for some reason, on the campus at the medical school, they had all these vending machines that had nothing but Monster energy drink in them. And I kind of just went, that feels like the last thing I would want my doctor to be drinking before he operated on me. Like, all right, I just pounded 2 energy drinks. Let's cut this guy open. I'm just here for x-rays. Leave me alone. So yeah, when I first started doing comedy, my parents were just obsessed with whether or not I was going to have health insurance. That was their big thing. So I showed them I have Medicaid. Yeah, give it up for that. Gotta love that free health insurance. And it's free because when you go to the doctor and you give them symptoms, their response is usually, "Oh, let me Google that." Great. I could have did that myself. And health insurance is so bad in this country that, every 6 months you go to the doctor and they're like, "Hey, your insurance? Ha ha, we don't take that anymore. Get lost, loser." So then I switched to WebMD, but I didn't like their results. And now I just use Reddit for all my medical.
Yes.
I feel good about my life choice.
What?
But now my parents don't ask about health insurance anymore. Now they ask if I have a will.
Oh,
Right, that got dark. And I was like, "No, I don't have a will." Like, what would be in my will at this point? A list of passwords? Yeah, for all my social media accounts. Here's my ATM password. Have fun.
It helps.
And you need that ATM password because, they don't want you at the bank anymore. They don't want to talk to you at the bank. Every time you walk into the bank, they stop you as you're entering and then try to convince you to go somewhere else. Like in a panic, they're like, "Have you tried banking from home?" I'm here. Just, it's too late. Take my money. I want you to, download their app. They're insane about the app. You got to have the app. I think you can walk into the bank wearing a ski mask, holding a shotgun, and be like, "This is a robbery," and they'll go, "Just download our app." All on there. Do it. Come on. You want. So, anyway. So I'm actually at my parents' house right now. Long story. And I like my parents. They're good. Unfortunately, this is when I knew Facebook was going downhill. They joined. That was a major red flag. Because, they don't even understand text messages and emails. Every text of my mom starts with "forward." No idea who she's forwarding these from. And then my dad sometimes will just send me a blank email. Very mysterious. A little unsettling. One time he called me up a few minutes later and he was out of breath. He was like, "Joe, did you get my email?" Yeah, there's nothing in it. And he goes, "Okay, but you got it." Was it a code? Was I supposed to highlight something? What? Unbelievable. So then, my dad made 3 Facebook accounts, friended himself on all 3. And then my mom just uses Facebook to leave me comments on my posts that have nothing to do with what I posted. I'll be like, "Yeah, comedy show tonight, 8:00. And then my mom will leave a comment, "You have a package here." For my brand, thank you. But we are Italian and from Long Island, so most of my family is either a cop or a DJ. Not of your career path. Some of them both. It's a good crossover gig to have. It's like, yeah, give it up for DJ suspended with pay. I'm Italian, but I get Jewish a lot. People think I'm Jewish. I did a show one time for old Jews. It was a Passover show up in the Catskills. I'm doing my regular act, and then I'm Italian and all this. And then after the show, they were coming up to me going, "Are you Jewish?" And I go, "No." And they go, "Are you sure?" It's like, you know what? Make me a bitch. I don't know. I'll switch sides. Right. Who knows? Anyway, I gotta go, but I'll leave you with this. So I live in New York City now, technically. And I had a guy ask me for change the other night as I was walking home. And, I would love to give everybody change, but I'm a comedian. I'm a week or two away from being that guy. But he had a memorable pitch. He goes, "Hey, man, let me get a quarter. I'm trying to get my kids back."
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, what do you do except go, "Are they trapped in a vending machine?" So I told them just to give it a good shake. They're probably stuck behind a soda can or something. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm Joe Pontillo. Thank you.
Give it up for Joe Pontillo. Joe, I remember meeting your excellent parents at a show once.
Probably just my dad. My mom mostly hates comedy.
And that wasn't your mother.
Oh my God. That was my...
Give it up for Joe one more time. So I strongly recommend you do make a will. I finally made my will. I have no money, and I made a will because it saves a lot of hassle when you don't have kids. Like, people are like, "Oh, she died, but she didn't have kids."
As a mother.
Right. Does she give it to
I think my will will just be a list of my TV credits, actually.
Right, just a list of TV credits. Mine will say has the same background as Aaron in my will. But I wrote up my will, and it took a while, and it's expensive. If you want to do it right, like airtight will, it's expensive. And I paid a lot of money, and there was a lot of back and forth paperwork and a lot of filling out forms and stuff, and it was finally all done. And when it's all done, they send you a leather-bound box book thing. It's like a book inside a box, and it's leather, and on the edge, on the binding of it, it says "The Last Will of Carrie Gravenson."
Wow, that's serious.
In gold lettering, right? And I was like, wow, that's where my money went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. It's a book. But then I looked a little closer, and Gravenson was misspelled.
No.
It was the last will of Carrie Gravenson. And I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. I paid too much money. They're going to get this right. And I don't want any mistakes. I don't want any confusion. I drop dead. Someone's like, well, this is the wrong will. Like, I don't want someone to see it on my bookshelf and be like, well, this is Carrie Gravenson's. And all the paperwork inside is right, but I want that binding. So I call up the lawyer, and I'm like, and she's like, we'll send you a new one at no charge. And I was like, right, no charge. So now I have 2 leather-bound books. I have the will and estate planning of Carrie Gravenson, wherever she is. And Carrie Gravenson is also covered, so don't worry. And yes, I'm giving all my money to Leanne Lord's cat. That's where it goes. You guys, we are up to our last comedian, but before we get to our last comedian, just a quick reminder. This is a free show, and as such, I'm going to put some links in the chat. you can donate some money to us. Did that show up? It did. You can give us money with Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App. And that helps us to run the show. We do pay our comedians, and we pay for things like Zoom and MailChimp and Aaron and my therapy bills. Aaron and I are couples therapy. We're not a couple, but we run a comedy show together. So yeah, we save money. And we also want to give a shout out to our donors from last week. I'm going to share my screen, and you will see our donors from last week. At the fantastic level, we have Joni gave us some money, and we have a new level this week. It's called the ironically non-evil level, is for Evil Dave. Evil Dave is like the worst evil person I've ever heard of. We make fun of him for being really bad at being evil, and that he throws us a couple of bucks. We love him for it. So thank you, Evil Dave. And Brandon, you hit potato level again. Good job. Potato level is a very high level here. So thank you so much. If you would like to see your name, as you can see, nobody made it to fun level, which was devastating. If you would like to see your name on this list, please throw us a couple of bucks. If you don't know how much to donate, just whatever's in your bank account is fine. Just the full amount. I'll give it to Carrie Gravenson. She needs it real bad. All right, are you guys ready for our headliner?
Yeah.
Super excited to have him. He has the same virtual background as me. You guys give a big round of applause for Aaron Kominos-Smith, everybody.
Wow, how seamless was that transition between Carrie and then me? It's like we walked off of one stage and then the other walked back onto the same stage. That's what this virtual background does, and we really should send it to all of our comics and then have everyone using it.
They won't.
And it will be pretty wild. I know they won't. There was one of the LA clubs was doing shows, or maybe it was a Bay Area club. In my head, that's all one city, and I know it isn't, and it's massive. But they made people do that. They would send you a virtual background, and like none of the comics except for me actually used it. I was the only one. Put it up, and then I looked like the only weirdo who was like, what did this guy Google the club and do an image search? And then, I right-clicked on it, and I did save as, and I saved it on my desktop. Carrie, I had not a will that my name was spelled incorrectly. My name is spelled incorrectly, pronounced incorrectly all the time. At the show last night, by the way, the host introduced me as Aaron Kominos-Smith.
Wow.
I didn't make a big deal. I didn't even mention it because I don't even care anymore. Like none of the people in the basement at that bar knew who I was anyway. I was on the phone I was trying to get a prescription refilled, and I had to call the prescription company, and she got my first name. She got Kominos. And whenever I spell my last name, I'm always like, oh, it's a hyphenated last name. It's Kominos, Kominos -Smith, Smith. And the Smith, she could not get right. She kept. So it's F. Is that an FM? And I'm like, no, S. S isn't Smith. I don't know what else to tell you. It's one of the most common names across the world. I don't know how. This is the thing that's throwing you. So I had a trophy in high school in this like speech and debate and like improv comedy group that I was in. I got like an achievement award, and the teacher who was the advisor gave me this award, and he handed it like this big dinner they do at the end of the year, and he hands me the award, and it said Kominos, but it was spelled Cominos, and I went up to the teacher, and I knew he just didn't know how to spell my name, and I was like, thanks, but yeah, I think it should be a K, not a C. And to his credit, he played it off. He went, they messed it up. Oh, man. And I was like, yeah, they. He was real progressive. He was referring to himself as they. That was before the woke mob was defeated. That was the only situation I had. Carrie, I was going to offer you our old TV. We just got a new TV recently, and there's currently our previous TV that, although it is 12 years old, works totally fine, looks great, and it's sitting in our kitchen right now. the New York City apartment, and I'm not really sure where else you're supposed to put it. And I don't want to get rid of it. Like, I don't want to get rid of this TV. So it's just like, it's turned around. Like I faced it. So like the back of the TV is facing out. It's like it did something really naughty and I like made it face the wall. It's just all the plugs and cables are what's sticking out of the back. And now that's what we're looking at instead of our counter. It fits perfectly under our counter in our kitchen. It's kind of like it was meant to be there. I think I should just have it face the other way and then put a video camera at the base of our kitchen sink, like on the other side of the kitchen, and just broadcast what's happening at people's feet level in the kitchen on the TV facing the other way, as if we have a floating sink in our kitchen. I think that's what I'm going to do. As if this whole counter has no supports, then you can see through it. That's wow. I just came up with that. This is amazing. I'm so excited. Our TV, this is true, Carrie. Our TV did break within that first year of us getting it. And when I looked into the warranty, it broke like exactly 1 week after the 1 year warranty.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. I spent hours and hours on the phone. I finally actually got them to give in, and Sony replaced our TV. That's the one that's still working. But they would not deliver it. So I had to drive in a 2-door Honda Accord somewhere out in Queens and figure out a way to squeeze a giant refurbished TV into a car that I had to like fold a seat down and try to wedge it into the car. And I assumed I was going to shatter the TV just getting it in the car. But I did it. I carried it up. I was very proud of myself and I fixed it. And that refurbished TV still works. So if anybody in the New York City area, or for that matter, anywhere, is willing to drive to Brooklyn and needs a TV, we're giving it away if anybody wants it. Sorry. Or best offer, OBO. I should have put. I always love when people are like $1,000 or best offer, and it's like I'll take it for free. Come on, don't be insulting. I'm like, all right, just say negotiable. Don't say best offer, because if the best offer is none and just mine, that's your answer. I didn't know TV repair people even existed. I thought after Sally Struthers stopped doing those advertisements, TV VCR repair, computer programming. Does anybody else remember this from Jake remembers, and that's it. I thought after they stopped doing those ads that no one was going to be able to repair TVs anymore. So that's amazing. And this is what you do need to see those ads, by the way, for class action lawsuits. I filled out one of those cards, and I like one of those postcards. I mailed it back. Months and months later, I got an email with a gift card worth $138.50.
What?
Guys, it's worth it to have your identity stolen. Right? If you want to know how much losing 100 points off your credit score is, it's worth $138.50. But I say go for it. When you get those random emails, fill it out. And possibly you're giving away your info to someone who's stealing it, or you may get $138.50. And it actually worked. And the irony is the reason that I was eligible was because there was a data breach and my identity was stolen from this company that I filled it out for. So
system works.
I also have some bad news about what was going on this week. It's not only me, it's me too. It's not only you guys, it's me as well. I sliced my thumb open pretty badly. On Tuesday, my wife was stress cooking at 6 a.m. and decided she made all of this vegetable soup and left the cans open. And they were just kind of sitting in our recycling bin, which she strategically hid under some lightly folded paper in our recycling bin. So when I went to take them out, I didn't realize it. Put my thumb right on top of it. I think it was a scene from like a new Saw movie. It was really, I was like, how did I wrong you? Yeah, so that was actually the worst thing that happened to me this week. So I don't know what everyone else is talking about. It is, by the way, and I did just get this alert because Carrie and I were both getting news alerts right as the show was starting. There's a brush fire right now in Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Whoa.
Wow.
Like I just got this alert, and I was like, I didn't know we had brush. I don't even know what brush is. I have an image in my head of what it is, but I don't think I could describe to you what it is. Like, you know how I feel like it's somehow related to tumbleweeds. But I don't actually know what tumbleweeds are. Like I know what they are in all the Coyote and the Roadrunner cartoons, but I don't.
Plants.
I know they're like dried up plants and a thing, but like they have a very specific, like just the least soft koosh ball you've ever seen. Like they really, that's what I imagine they are. I'm just gonna keep referencing 80s and 90s things for the rest of this. That basically, I'm gonna be a high school student. That's me. You guys don't tutor high school kids. You don't know that that's all high school kids are just obsessed with the 90s these days. It's very weird. Still waiting to see slap bracelets come back. I don't know why we haven't seen 16-year-old kids on their way to school just like whap, and then slapping that bracelet on. All right, final thing that I will say, you guys, we'll ask you guys. Joe I didn't realize this. He said in an email, he was like, "Oh, promote my special that I did. It's called Nobody Wants This." I forgot to tell Carrie that he did send that email, so I'm promoting it right now.
I was going to be mad at me.
But I've got my special. My special will be coming out, not soon, but eventually. And I'm trying to figure out ways to promote it. Would all of you guys all seem like a target podcast audience, right? You're big fans of podcasts that you listen to and to commuting to your jobs. And avoiding tumbleweeds. Would you listen to a podcast called I'm So Special, where it's just me interviewing other comics about producing comedy specials? That they've done a comedy special, they talk about, the usual, how they got into comedy, whatever, but what the process was like getting ready for a stand-up comedy special, trying to get a full hour of material together. And then here's the kicker in my podcast is we will then watch a clip together of your special, of the comic special, just to see how they react, how I react, and to see how embarrassed I can make them. That's kind of, or maybe they'd love it. I have no idea. And the best part, here's going to be the title of the podcast. It's going to be called I'm So Special. Or You're So Special. I'm not sure. It's one or the other. If it's got a cool name, I think that's it, right? Would we all be on board with that? We'd all give it downloads? Yeah.
Play it in the background. Yeah.
I think we'll I'll play it in the background. All right, great. Well, that's good to know. I'm excited. Look for it, hopefully before I release my own special. So at some point in the next 2 to 45 months, it's going to get out there. We'll make it happen. You guys, you have been awesome. Thank you guys so much. Back to Carrie to wrap us up. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And yes, Aaron, tumbleweeds are just dried. I thought they were like a Hollywood thing until I went to New Mexico. New Mexico.
I knew you would know.
They roll across the highway. They're very distracting. And when they roll into the town, they collect garbage. So like in the wilderness, it's just like a tumbling bush. But in town, it's just filled with like litter. So it's like a dirt bomb of like litter. It's disgusting. They're gross. But yeah, let's all go to Prospect Park and go see what the brush fire is about. That's insane. You guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. We will be. Oh, actually, I'm going to miss next week. Aaron will be back here next week.
I'll be here.
And we've made the executive call. We are taking Black Friday off. But other than that, we will see you every Friday here at 8 p.m. And we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll hang out for a few. Thank you, everyone.
Give it up for our comedians. Say, I think Leah's the only one left. Give it up for Leah. Thanks for joining.
Do you guys want to see the new dog?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
This is the dog.